Hey everyone, I thought I'd make a video and just add my thoughts to the case study for this week. I'll make it brief since I know you guys don't want to be sitting here watching me for an hour long. So I just answered the questions from the case study, which I thought was really interesting. I like the case study. I used to be into cycling a lot, but never really followed cycling like through Lance Armstrong or the Tour de France or any of that stuff. But I never really knew that Lance Armstrong was, I guess he confessed that he was actually doping. And it's really sad because he seemed to be a very highly regarded opinion leader during his time. And it was great that he overcame his cancer and he went back and he did several tours and won them only to be caught doping, cheating really on those tours, which is terrible. It's terrible for anyone who looks up to someone, especially a cancer survivor, and who starts a foundation for people to have hope and to have an opinion leader who can serve as an icon for them to get better, only to find out that they're not who you really thought they were. I guess we're all human. It's pretty terrible, but I think Armstrong's legacy is ruined, totally ruined for the rest of his life. Anyone who knows about him knows that he's just a cheater. And if you look at what he did to try to cover up some of the stuff, you actually feel like he's much more of a terrible person. So I think going on from that, the question is who suffered from his cheating and what were the costs? Well, he obviously suffered from his cheating as much as he wanted to rationalize some of it. He's lost all of his reputation. I mean, he's probably financially stable, but I mean, what does that matter when you go into the public and people think that you're a loser, that you're a big loser? Not only did you try to win, but you cheated. So besides that, all the other people who suffered maybe indirectly from his cheating, his team members who enabled him and who he helped enable as well, I think they suffered from that because they're all together on it. It was kind of like a conspiracy, and they try to cover it up, and it ruins your reputation as well. And I think the people who had hope in him, who saw that he was a figure who they could look up to, I think they suffered from it as well because you might really get a lot of strength and peace and hope from this one person. When they do something wrong like that, it just kind of blasts your entire life away. So I feel bad for those people. Hopefully they can put their hope in things that are not fleeting, like Jesus Christ. I think that's really important why we have hope and faith in Jesus Christ, because we know he's not going to make those kind of errors. He's not going to lead us astray. And we know that he's perfect. He set a perfect example. And when we look to that example, there's no way we can lose hope because we know that Christ is not going to let us down. The other writers, Hamilton, Landis, and those who testified, were they too loyal or not loyal enough to Armstrong? I think they were too loyal, honestly. I think the moment that they realized he was doping, or I think some of them were doping before he started it or helped him get into doping, they should have stopped as soon as possible, as soon as their conscience told them it was wrong. I think it was Landis. He had a really poignant remark on it. I want to find it. He said, "I'm not proud of that decision. I wish with all my heart that I'd been stronger, that I dropped the red egg, the testosterone pill, back into the bottle and suffered through another day at the back. I wish I'd realized that the path I was taking, I wish I'd quit the sport, but I didn't." So he knew, it was like premeditated, that what he was doing was wrong. Whenever you know you're doing something wrong, like it, that's when you got to stop. And when he finally decided to testify about it, I think it should have happened a long time ago. And he didn't bring it up to Lance. I mean, Lance confronted him in Aspen, Colorado at a restaurant. Was cursing at him and threatened legal action against him. It's a terrible spot to be in. I think if he had just cut it off right then and said, "Hey, this is wrong. I don't care how you're justifying it. We're breaking the rules. If you don't think you can do this without cheating, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. The other guy, Landis, I thought he did a better job. He just came right out and wrote an email to the head of the organization, the doping association, whatever it was, and said that, hey, we're doping and other people on my team are doping as well. I think it was good. It was late, obviously, to do it, but he actually made the decision to talk about it and confess that he had been doing this kind of stuff. I think it had already been caught too at that point, but he just said, we're all doing it, so we might as well just give up now. Probably should have done it earlier. So I think they were too loyal, honestly, and Armstrong still, I think, rationalizes it to this day that he was leveling the playing field, and they proved him wrong on that too. He wasn't leveling the playing field because of the risks and the cost of having the entire team conspire to help you is very pricey. Not very many people can afford doping or getting a whole team to dope with you. So I think he wasn't leveling the playing field. They were all in it together, and they should have stopped as soon as they could have possibly done that. In terms of situations where I witness a leader or followers make bad decisions, I honestly have not been in situations where I've had to witness leaders make bad decisions and take their followers with them. Maybe I just haven't been in groups very much, but I do know from personal experience with friends where I've had friends do wrong things. I made a conscious choice in high school once. I had a friend who I knew was just leading me down the wrong path, and I finally decided that if I kept going down the path with him, that I would not be myself. I would not be in the place where I wanted to be. So I kind of just gradually, but non-confrontationally, separated paths with him. And I think it was one of the best decisions I made. And I can't imagine what my life would be like if I continued to go down that path with them. So I know what things are like when you don't stick to commitments and where you want to be. That really relates to the Clayton Christensen essay that I thought was really good. It was very profound and inspirational. And I've read one of his books, so I know he's a really influential author as well, but Clayton Christensen gives a perfect example when he talked about how, as a Rhodes Scholar, he was on the Oxford basketball team, and their championship game was scheduled on a Sunday. And for the life of him, he just said, I have made a commitment to not play ball on Sunday, even though it was the championship team and all of his teammates were relying on him. He said, I'm still not going to do it. And I think he felt a desire to go and do that, but he even prayed about it and got the confirmation that he still should not play the game. And that's the kind of integrity that people need to guide their lives. And anytime there is a gray area, I think it's important to do what Clayton Christensen did, and that was we're all members of the church. We pray for confirmation, but other people, I think they need to step back and reevaluate their commitments, how they want to measure their life, and just think about whether or not when a gray area comes around, am I going to do this just once or am I going to do that just once? They need to think, what are the costs going to be if I give up my integrity just for a little bit, if I sell myself short? And I think every time those who are willing to have direct purpose and want to live wholly and purely according to their commitments, then they're going to say no, even when it's really tempting to let it slip a little bit. So when it comes to measuring my life or measuring success, it really depends on how committed am I to my goals, to making sure that I live the best that I can be and not cheat the system or the people around me. Clayton Christensen says that his biggest measure of success was the people that he helped. even though he knows he's helped companies make millions, maybe billions of dollars off of his business models, he knows that besides all of that, it's been the people that he's helped and the difference that he's made in people's lives. That is the metric that he uses to guide his success. And I think it's a really important metric. I think all of us should want to live our lives so that we can help influence other people in good ways and positive ways. And that can be our family, that can be our friends, that can be people that we don't know. But if we live that way, then the habits that we'll form will center on that metric. So for example, if I want to make sure that my success in life is based on how much I serve other people, then I'm going to be spending a lot of my time learning how to serve people, praying for charity, and going out and serving other people. And that's going to be my priority. It might be a goal that I have and I won't do it. That's not going to do anything. If I just have a goal and I don't to serve people and I don't go out and serve people or learn how to serve people or get a desire to serve people, then that's all well and great. But when it comes down to it, I'll know deep down inside that I will have zero success, and all the other success I have in life will not measure up to what that true goal is. So I think it's really important that we understand the purpose of our lives. And it was crazy because Brother Christensen mentions that he's surprised that all the students who come into Harvard Business School for their graduate studies don't know the purpose of their lives. And later down, like Jeff Skilling said, was in his graduating class, who was the CEO of Enron, biggest fraud in like modern businesses. He noticed that he was a good guy at the beginning, but his priorities got mixed up somewhere along the way, and now he's probably in jail still for fraud and cover-ups. So I think it's really important that we do figure out our purpose now, if not later. Otherwise, it's going to be too late. So anyway, that's my contribution.